Hi, welcome everybody, and I'm Susannah, as Emma said, and I want you to put your hands up if you have even just one pair of shoes in your wardrobe that you haven't worn this year. As you can see, you are not alone, but that is why I'm here today. I'm here to help you rectify your shoe situation. So by the end of my talk, you'll have a much better idea of how to make sure that your shoes aren't just sitting unloved in your wardrobes, but you've got shoes that you love to wear. So first of all, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about myself, my background, and why I do what I do. Then I'm going to talk about the importance of shoes and the impact that shoes can actually make on our lives, and why comfortable shoes can make a big, big difference. Then I'm going to share my 7 shoe buying top tips, and this is advice that you're going to be able to use as soon as you leave today. Then I'll tell you how you personally can get help with your shoes, and I've got an exclusive offer just for you ladies today that I'll share with you. There'll be time for your questions in between each section. So when you see the boot with a question mark on it, then it's time for you to ask any questions that you want. I'd rather you didn't have to save them all to the end and then forget them. So you can ask your questions throughout. So first, a little bit about me, why I do what I do. Okay. One of my biggest frustrations, and I think the frustration of a lot of women, is that there are so many shoes out there, shoe companies making uncomfortable shoes, and so many sales assistants whose job it is to sell you those shoes. And my mission, and the mission of my company, The Shoe Consultant, is to help you find comfortable, beautiful shoes which suit your feet, your style, and your lifestyle. So I provide impartial advice to help you find the perfect shoes for you. I have almost 20 years experience in the footwear industry itself, so working for shoe brands and people who are starting shoe companies. I also have a degree in footwear design, so I have a wealth of knowledge about shoes that I'm eager to share with you to help you find the shoes of your dreams. So I can help you to find the right shoes for you forever. Does that sound good? Yeah? So that's what I'm going to do today. She looks pretty confident, doesn't she? I want to talk about how shoes can impact how you feel inside, how they can really affect your confidence, and how that affects your life, really. You know that feeling when there's some aspect of your wardrobe which just is really bothering you all day, whether it's maybe your underwiring digging in, or it's your waistband is that bit too tight, or maybe it's your shoes, they're rubbing you, or when you walk they keep slipping off, or you're wearing high heels that are causing just that awful burning sensation on the balls of your feet, and that's going on all day. Well, these might not seem like big issues, but they can really affect your mood. And when your brain is distracted by your body's discomfort, it's so hard to actually concentrate on what you should be concentrating on. So, giving your best at work, and it can even affect your personal life. If you're out for the evening and you're wearing your beautiful high heels and you're having a lovely time, but gradually through the night your feet are starting to hurt, you're getting that burn on the balls of your feet, there's nowhere to sit down, and you just think, okay, I'm not having a good time anymore. You think, okay, well, I've had a good time, I'm just over it now. I just can't be bothered with the pain anymore. I'm going to go home. So off you go home. So what if then when you've gone home, someone who could have been, I don't know, your potential soulmate walks in, or someone who could have actually been a really great friend who you're just never going to get the chance to meet, or even a really lucrative business contact who you could have met that night. Do you really want your shoes to have that kind of impact on your life, on, you know, your prospects? No, I don't think so. So that's what I'm all about, really. When you feel your best, you can be yourself, you can act with confidence, can't you? Shoes, as I know from my years of experience working with them, they're quite complex structures, really. Feet are actually really weird shapes. So there are so many things that could go wrong when you're shoe shopping. It's actually very easy to make a mistake when you're shopping for shoes. You could try on some shoes in a shop and they're maybe just that little bit too tight, and the sales assistant says, oh, you know, they'll give, and they never do, of course. Or you're trying your high heels on in a shop and the shop has carpet and a completely flat surface for you to walk on. And you think, you know, there's probably a little bit of cushioning in those shoes. Yeah, in the shop, yeah, great. You've taken a few strides. Yeah, okay, they're good. When you're out on the street, all you can feel under the balls of your feet is the hard pavement. And then you just know you can't wear them very often, and you can't wear them when you're walking very far. It's so easy to make mistakes when you're shoe shopping. Early in my career, I went for a job interview and I wore a pair of flat, pointed black shoes, which were made from possibly the hardest leather I have ever encountered. I had to walk a little way to the offices of that job interview, and by the time I got there, my heels were shredded. It was awful. So it took everything I had to concentrate on the interview and the questions that I was being asked, and not on the real pain that I was in. So the reason why I wore those shoes was because this was actually a second job interview. The feedback I received from the first job interview was that I came across as a bit giggly. Oh. So I knew what I had to do. I had to find a pair of shoes which meant business. And I knew that my collection of round-toed shoes would come across as a bit soft and quite feminine, whereas pointed-toe shoes can come across as a bit more serious, potentially even a little bit more aggressive. So I knew the shoes that I needed to purchase, and they did the trick. They did get me the job, but my heels took weeks to recover. Have you ever had a pair of shoes yourself that fitted your feet like gloves, and they hugged your feet and supported them, and you wore them until they had holes in them? And maybe you've still got them because you just can't bear to part with them. Well, the thing is that all shoes should be like that, right? All shoes should be like that. And they can, you just have to know what to look for. When you feel great, then it really impacts your life. And who knows where the confidence you get from great shoes could get you. It could get you a new job. It could get you a promotion, a new client, or maybe even a new romantic partner. Who knows? So think about the impact that what we're wearing on our feet can have on our day, on our lives as well. That's how we feel inside. And what about how other people perceive us? We are judging each other by our shoes, but also people can perceive us in different ways. Let me explain. Clothing can look rich and expensive, or it can look cheap and nasty, but it's your shoes and handbags where you can tell the quality at first glance. The fashion designer Carolina Herrera once said, you can take an inexpensive sheath dress, add a pretty scarf, great shoes, and a wonderful handbag, and it will always be elegant. Think about the details of your outfit and how other people can perceive us based on those. I think that when we've paid attention to the details of our outfits, your boss, your colleagues, clients and potential clients, they'll subconsciously think this person can pay attention to the important details of the job that she's doing. It's not vain and superficial to care about how you look and to take care of yourself and your appearance. Actually, it really does affect how other people perceive us. High heels can give you a confidence boost and put a real strut in your step that other people will notice, but only if you can walk in them easily. Think about if you're running in your uncomfortable high heels which are slipping off. Okay, you can actually do yourself some damage. You could break your foot, you could break your ankle, and you could miss out on important things, an important event or a conference at work. It can really impact. If you have a pair of high heels that make you wobble, you find it difficult to walk in them, maybe they're even starting to slip off, and you're hurrying to a meeting, they can make you late. And that impression that you then give based on the frustrations of your shoes isn't great. It's how other people can perceive you in business, depending on which shoes you wear. So, there's the question shoe. Does anybody have any questions so far? Yes, Emma.
Quick question. You said something which suddenly rings true with something I found myself saying the other day, which was, when it gets cold, my shoes fall off. Which sounded odd when I said it. I thought, actually, by the time I've travelled to London in what I thought were a pair of comfortable shoes and the train's freezing, do your feet shrink when they get colder?
So, do our feet shrink when they get colder? Yes, they do. And I think it's something to do with the blood vessels contracting. So, when you're shopping for the shoes, then you do have to think about the hosiery that you're going to wear. Is it going to be tights? Is it going to be socks? Can they sort of adapt to the different seasons? So, yes.
Not necessarily now, for later maybe. I'd be interested in your views on like custom-made shoes. I've seen some websites and magazines where you can pay through your nose for getting custom shoes.
So are custom-made shoes a good idea? Custom-made shoes can be particularly good for people who have who have problems with their feet, but it can also be a great way to get that perfect fit for you. But it's not the only way, I would say. Yes.
I get shoe envy because I've got so many pairs of beautiful shoes that I just would never get on my feet. How come some people can wear heels all the time, and walk in them and everything else?
Okay.
Why can't I?
So why can some people wear high heels all the time and other people can't? Okay, some of it is practice. And some of it is actually they've kind of deformed their feet and their like calf muscles will have shortened. And some people who wear high heels a lot struggle to wear flats because it hurts them. Amazing, really. Right, number one. Okay, this seems like stating the absolute obvious. Shoes should be foot-shaped. But so many aren't that you can buy out there in the market. So, this particular aspect, if you were in a furniture shop and you were looking for a chair, nice chair, and you sat down on that chair and you realised that actually it was really sloping forward, and actually most of the weight was still on your feet. Would you buy the chair? I'm guessing most people wouldn't buy that chair. Well, the thing is the same with high heels. The area that your heel sits down on in a high heel, if that is angled at this really steep pitch, this really steep angle, then all the weight of your body is going to go onto the balls of your feet, and you're much more likely to get that burning sensation. If your heel is sitting on something more flat, and it can still be quite a high heel, then the weight is going to be spread across your heels, across probably your arch as well, your instep, and across the balls of your feet as well. So you'll be able to wear those shoes for longer. Number 2, leather changes everything. So leather is really important in shoes. I'm sure a lot of you know that it forms really nicely to your feet, and it can be quite durable if looked after really well. But also leather linings are really important. So leather linings can make a real difference to the comfort of your shoes, because when you wear leather-lined shoes, the leather absorbs the moisture away from your feet, and your feet feel nice and cool and dry and comfortable. So do look for leather, and if you don't know how to check whether your shoes are leather or not, that's what the symbols are for. So this symbol is what you're looking for, the leather symbol, and if it's on your upper, that's good, and also if it's next to this symbol, that's also really useful. Every shoe which is sold in the EU has a label on it which looks like that. Sometimes it's like a metallic see-through label that's on the inside. Leather soles aren't particularly important in the UK. In fact, sometimes it's better avoided, especially in weather like this, because leather soles can be quite slippery when it's wet. They can be really good in summer because they're quite breathable, so it's good for things like open sandals. It helps your feet to be quite comfortable. Demand, fit and comfort. So when you're in the shop and your shoes, you're like, oh, but they're so beautiful, I want them, but they're just rubbing a little bit here, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And or the sales assistant says, oh, that'll be okay with an insole or a heel grip. Don't do it. Don't get carried away, because they're the shoes which are going to end up in the back of your wardrobe unloved, and it's a waste of money. The thing is, if we vote with our credit cards, you know, by not buying the uncomfortable shoes and only buying the perfect shoes for us, then companies are going to start to listen, and shoe brands will start to make more comfortable shoes because they're going to be the ones that sell. Number 4, so many of you know that block heels make high heels more comfortable, more stable. There's a greater surface area on the heel, and of course that's true, but with slim heels, they're not created equal. If you've got a slim heel, which is placed right at the back of your shoe, you can be very unstable and wobbly. Everybody's looking at their heels now. If the heel is positioned further forward this way, then it can provide much greater stability for you. And the reason for that is, when you're wearing those shoes, if you think about how you look from the side, your leg is here. So your centre of gravity is further forward than that heel that's stuck right at the back. So your weight is going to be much better supported. This is where all your weight is going down if your heel is tucked under your body weight, essentially. That's how it works. So when you're out trying on shoes, do have a test of that, and I think you'll notice a real difference. Number 5. So there are other aspects of shoes that can make them comfortable or not, that can make them supportive or not. And there are things that I know from looking at them that make a difference, and sometimes it's just who's made it and how much of a hurry they've been in when they've made these shoes. I can't explain all that to you today, but I can tell you how to do a little test I call shelf wobble test. If you poke the side of your shoe around here, or where I'm poking it on there, and when it's on the shelf in the shop, and it wobbles like this, maybe keeps on wobbling, maybe even wants to fall over, then that shoe is not well balanced. If you poke it and it just moves round nicely on the shelf like that, then it's going to support you much better. Number 6 is know your height limit. Can you please put your hand up if you've ever bought a pair of shoes and then realised that they were just too high for you? Yeah. It's easily done. You can easily get carried away and buy shoes that just aren't your heel height. How do you work out your perfect heel height? Well, go home, find your favourite high heels that you wear over and over again, measure the height of the heel, subtract any platform, and that's your perfect heel height. And I want you to bear that height in mind when you're shopping online or in stores, as you know that's the right height for you. Number 7, get expert help. Did you know that you could save £15,000 on shoes in your lifetime from now? It sounds like a ridiculously high figure, right? But let me tell you how you can. The average woman in the UK owns 24 pairs of shoes. Some people maybe a few more. A few giggles at the back of the room, yeah. Me too, obviously. And we wear on a regular basis about 20% of those, about 5 pairs of shoes we wear on a regular basis, which means that 80% of our shoes we are rarely getting out of the cupboard, and they're just sitting there, and it's a complete waste of money. In our lifetimes, we spend £37,500 on shoes, according to statistics. And that's over, that seems like a lot of money, but actually it's over a period of 60 years of shoe shopping. If we only had 30 years of shoe shopping left, which I imagine most of us here have got many more years of shoe shopping even than that, but even if it was only 30 years, we've still got £18,750 to spend on shoes. So imagine if you could be making all the right decisions about the footwear that you're buying, then you won't be wasting 80% of that amount, which is £15,000 down the drain of shoes that you buy, you wear once, and you just realise they're not right for you. What do I do and how can I help you? So one of the services I offer is a shoe wardrobe analysis. I come to your home and we look at your shoe collection together and we work out what's working for you, what isn't, and this is where my expertise comes in. We work out why it's not working for you. And I look at your existing wardrobe and we create a shopping list. And it's not necessarily a big list at all, but it's shoes that are going to really work well for you and things that you're missing from your wardrobe that could be working really hard for you. We work out which shoes that you should keep and which that you should give away or even sell, and I can tell you how to sell them too. I also have a one-to-one VIP shoe shopping service where we go shoe shopping together, and when we go shoe shopping together, you won't be bullied into buying shoes by a sales assistant or by me. It's your money. You won't get carried away and you won't make impulse purchases this time. My impartial advice is honed from years of experience. We'll have a lot of fun. I'm kind of like your outspoken sister who just happens to be a shoe expert. It's a good day. It's a really fun day when we're out shoe shopping together. I'll help you on your journey towards comfortable, beautiful shoes. Thank you very much.